Yo, welcome along to Troopers. This is a new episode. My name is Eric Njiru, and this is your home of sport conversation from Kenyan sport, African sport, and the world. And today, we are back to the three main topics. That is the FKF president has been elected, Hussein Mohamed, CHAN preparation. Kenya is still trying to beat the deadline for December 31st. And Engin Firat has left Harambee Stars. He is no longer the Harambee Stars coach. Joining me now, yet again this week, is Sadiq Shaban, senior sports journalist, and also another senior sports journalist, Gilbert Wandera. They were here a couple of days ago. It was so hot. We are back, guys. Welcome back, Gilbert.
Thank you, Eric. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Sadiq.
Thank you, Eric.
Welcome back.
It's good to see you. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thanks, guys, for coming through once again. I think there's only one place to start. Last week we had the FKF elections. We now have the new president, that is Hussein Mohamed. Nick Mandwa and Doris Petra were defeated, as well as Barry Otieno and the other candidates. First of all, Gilbert, what are your instant thoughts after the election on Saturday at Kasarani? Were you there, first of all?
Yes, I was there.
Oh, yes. I remember I saw you.
He was hiding. He was hiding. Did you see him? He was under the chairs.
What is your take on the entire process?
Like I said when I was here last week, I still insist that, it was a system thing. Only that this time the bigger system won. The bigger system wanted change. Oh. And we got the change that they wanted. But I still believe that, Team Blue should have won, but whatever happened, and, we have a new president, so we support him. It is what it is, yes.
Sadiq, your thoughts on the elections?
I see you have an opened bottle of water. Would you take a sip on it and just swallow the lump, Mr. Wandera? Swallow it, Wandera. You don't look very happy.
No, I'm okay.
An outsider who turned into an insider who was thought to be an outsider won. and Mr. Wandera wasn't very pleased with the results. Look,
he left so early, he was calling me.
Yeah. And I think even at some point, the people at the Federation ended the live stream when they saw that their preferred candidate had lost. Look, for me, Eric, two things. Number one, I was absolutely pleased that the election process was conducted without any physical violence.
Yes.
The venue of the election, Kasarani, it's usually Kisirani. Okay? Kisirani in the sense of it's a chaotic environment.
Yes.
We have seen elections in that space over years, even party elections that have turned to be very chaotic.
Yes.
And we are very glad that even with the high stakes, the elections were peacefully conducted. I was just a little bit disturbed by the overbearing presence of the police officers, armed police officers.
There were a lot.
I thought at some point they should just have left, especially during the counting of the votes. They were all over putting a ring around, the ballot officials.
Not even outside. I think there were more than bombers in the general election.
So it gave an environment of fear and intimidation. Yet, intelligence reports had indicated that this was going to be just a normal process. The delegates were thankfully very peaceful. And the elections were very peaceful, and it appears that everybody else, other than a few people, accepted the results. And it was very material that Kenya held these elections, and there was no contestation.
Yeah.
By the way, if anybody still want to challenge this election, they are free to go to court and provide evidence. But the elections in Kenya, football elections, were very, very, very peaceful, and it is very material that they were in that format or in that shape and fashion because of the stakes that are coming. Can you imagine now we are talking about having competition that we need to host? If these elections had not been peaceful, then we will not be having the local organizing committee for CHAN and any other. So kudos to those who won, but I must sit here and tell Hussein that he has sat on a very hot chair. I do not absolutely envy you at this point in time because there's a lot to be done, but there's no time to do it.
Wandera, Hussein has been elected the president now.
Yes.
You didn't expect that, obviously. We were here last week. You told us he's an outsider.
Yeah.
What do you make of his new term now, this regime?
Hussein, this is not the first time that Hussein is contesting, so I'm sure he knows, what is expected of him. But like Sadiq has said, I don't envy him as well. He's taking over when, there's a lot of burden, on Kenya. Of course, the most immediate one is the CHAN. Funnily enough, if you don't host the CHAN, everybody will blame him, though he's just been elected. So he's taking over a very I don't envy him. And then also there are no sponsors. He promised to bring in a lot of sponsors. So I don't think he'll have the luxury of...
He's just been here for 3 days now.
Yeah, he'll not have the luxury of waiting. I'm telling you, after 1 week or 1 month, people will start asking where are the sponsors. You know, unfortunately, that is the reality. So he has just to be ready, you know, to just go out there and to show people that, you know what, he can do it. Hussein himself, he sold himself as somebody who is close to the corporates. We know he's worked with corporates before. So it shouldn't be a big problem to bring in corporates. And that's what Kenya needs. And that is what he needs to do immediately, you know, without wasting any time. Otherwise, the window for, you know, for congratulations is very short for him.
It's over, actually.
It's over. So he really, people want to see what can he do. And unfortunately, because of where we are coming from, the expectations are too high. He'll not have the luxury of, you know, sitting around. Yeah.
If I were to offer my unsolicited piece of advice to Hussein, I would ask him to start a forensic audit and probe at Kandanda House. There are a lot of ghosts that must be unearthed in that house. Hussein has to dig deep. Hussein has to sweep that house clean. There are Nick Mwendo ghosts in the cupboard that must be outed. He must go with a, you know, shining torch and illuminate those dark areas. Because he's told us, and I'm happy that I heard from him, he campaigned on a platform of transparency and accountability. And those are the tenets upon which people will judge him. So he has to look at the mess that Nick and Barry and Doris have presided over the last 8 years.
Yeah.
We need forensic evidence of the deals, of sponsors' money, of the OB thing that was in there, and how we find ourselves, for instance, having pending bills at the Federation totaling millions of shillings when there was money from FIFA, grants from CAF, and money from sponsors who have come into football in the last few days. And this is also an unsolicited piece of advice. Hussein will have to pick his own people of integrity. He has to cut off, you know, the bad elements. And if he has to overhaul the secretariat, which I'm happy that it has new people, and I'm hoping they will confirm Patrick Korir as the Secretary General, as CEO.
Why do you say that? Why do you think that?
Look, I think the man has earned his stripes.
Yeah,
he's been in acting capacity for a couple of months. These elections happened because of him, because the other office were kind of in a limbo. And he's the chief administrator.
That election, during the announcement, that was very mature of Patrick.
Absolutely. And I think if it were some sort of internship or he was under probation, surely he's earned his colors. And he also comes from a background of football. He's been a journalist. He's written about the people, about the games. So the only challenge Eric and Wandera sitting here is that Korir should also expect us to look at him with the same view that he looked at other people when he was in our seat.
But Sadiq, you know, when these regimes come into office, they tend to come with their own people. Some of these positions were planned for months before the elections. You remember when Nick came with Mudhomi?
Yeah.
Mudhomi took over for a couple of years, and then Barry took over. So honestly, Patrick's my friend, but I don't really expect him to be confirmed.
I don't expect him also.
Well, I do expect that he will be confirmed.
We would like him to be confirmed.
I've known him as a man of integrity for many years. I really have worked with him before, and it is something that it is not in my position to vote for him. But I would say that if Hussein and the team need to get down, they need to get down as soon as possible. And it is in their wisdom to choose whoever they want to work with. But my point is, they must come with clean people. Or a clean slate. And for me,
for me,
the biggest one is the secretariat, because it's the people that Nick and the former office head there, and the systems that are there. Sometimes we blame the systems, not the people. So, in as far as getting everything, done, he will also have to bring in people. By the way, it's not easy. He will be criticized. He will be baptized. He will be called names.
I think we've seen a couple of guys have already left. I think Doreen is no longer doing the fixtures. I think Nani is back, who was doing the fixtures before. Frank Ogola.
Yes.
I've seen Okaka say that he's going to step aside.
Yeah.
And we were there for the press conference on Wednesday. And
Yes.
I think I saw Jeff doing some work there.
I think it's natural. When a new administration comes, even as you've seen with Donald Trump, a lot of people have resigned from government. Others are saying they're not going to serve. And I think also he has to bring back the league under management. You know, a company should run the league.
We'll talk about that, KPL. Gilbert, there's something that Sadiqa said about Audit on the previous regime. Okay. We rarely see that in football. Do you think that's something that is going to be done?
It should be done. Come on.
For me, I think, this is my honest opinion. I remember when Nick came in 2016.
Yeah.
I know this because I was very close to him then.
That's an admission.
Even now, he's still close.
Let me finish.
I've never heard that before. Today I'm hearing that for the first time.
Yeah,
you could repeat for the for avoidance of.
So what he did, when Nick came in, we had a much worse situation.
There were no structures
compared to now. There were no structures.
For sure.
The football office was in the swimming pool there. You know, there was nothing, and there was a debt of almost, if I can remember, $200 million. Not 200 million Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
A debt of 200 million shillings. So why it's good to do an audit, but I don't support the idea of, going and, reviving, because Hussein will spend a lot of time fighting, and he will not do anything.
So you want him to look at the future?
I want him to look at the future.
And forget about where it's come from?
I want him to look at the future, but don't forget, there are some things he cannot forget, but I want him to look at the future, not come and try and, antagonize.
How can you look at the future without the benefit of the hindsight?
Because, Sadiq, if he starts going back to look at what has happened before, he'll spend all the 4 years and he will not do anything. I can assure you that. That is the truth. He will not have time to do anything.
He needs to do that, because again, if he doesn't do that, then he's going to pick the bad leadership and the malaise that is there. Look, the thing is, I know you are close to Nick Mwendo. You've just made that admission here. It's okay.
It's confirmed.
It's confirmed.
Yeah.
It's no longer on the wall. It's no longer a secret. But let us be very clear.
Yes.
Nick presided over a very corrupt regime at Kandanda House, for which he must be held to account. The other day, he was handed to court on matters of governance and leadership, and I think that case was, I don't know, probably it was terminated.
It was dropped.
New evidence. Hussein, go find
There's no evidence.
Hussein Mohammed, go find.
You think Hussein should take over that case?
Hussein Mohammed, go find new evidence at Kandanda House. Dig through the halls, go down the trenches, find it. We need closure.
Okay.
We need money. We need to know how much money that was granted to Kenya by FIFA, how it's been spent. And Eric, I know you're going to touch on the issue of the coach in a moment, but I also know that there are other pending bills at Kandanda House that people have not been paid, that Hussein and the team are now inheriting. How is he expected to pay without knowing who is asking for money? You could as well open the house and the vaults open and everybody will make a claim for payment.
So, Sadiq, you've mentioned the OB. I think during AFCON you spoke to FIFA and they said that was a case closed, and they said that was a bad project, failed project, and they moved on to a point where they approved the next project, which is the technical center in Machakos, which should be ongoing right now. So
that makes Wandera very happy. You just see a grin on his face. But when you say that's no longer going to be...
Wandera, you've moved on from the OB project.
Yeah, FIFA, like you're saying, FIFA said it was a bad project. And the beauty of the OB project is FIFA who paid the money. It's not even FKF.
And who embezzled it?
It is FIFA who paid the money to the company that
went down.
Yeah, it's FIFA who paid the money. And that is why FIFA
So we should bury the ghosts?
That's why FIFA has never taken action against anybody at FKF. Yes, because if actually there was a problem, FIFA would have taken action by now, because it was a lot of money. That was a lot of money that was lost.
That may be FIFA's money,
yes.
But let us be very clear. Yes. There's also taxpayers' money.
Yes.
Kenyan taxpayers' money that was paid to the federation to prepare the teams
for AFCON,
for the women that is under, the World Cup. The young girls went to the World Cup.
Under 17.
The under 17. We are talking also about the national teams over the years. Okay. That money must be accounted for, and other administrative issues. So, Hussein and the team, it's not up to me to tell you, but those are things that you will have to come and account to people for. Because you said, integrity and accountability and transparency is what will define your leadership. Let us see that in action.
Now, Eric, about government money, let me tell you, Sadiq, maybe you don't know. And from where I sit, I know because I've dealt with government money as a federation. But then that government money from the sports fund, it's very specific. You apply for it for a specific event project.
Or function.
Or function, yeah?
Yes.
For example, you're preparing the national team for a certain tournament.
Like for the World Cup now,
Yes.
the Dominican.
And you can never be given that money if you have not accounted for what you were given before.
But Eric,
You can't. So every time you are given the money, you've accounted for what you are given
And after you come
before.
back, you give the receipts.
You give the receipt and everything.
Gilbert,
you're cleared and you're given more money.
Gilbert, what we are saying, I think to avoid ambiguity of any kind, we are not accusing Nick Mwendwa of any impropriety. There's no evidence at this time. What we are saying is that as part of his handing over, he should give us that clean account.
Again, he will give the books.
No, that's what we need. That's what we need. That's why I'm saying, Hussein, go find the book. Because then it is Hussein who's going to receive it. So Hussein, go find the books and let us scrutinize the books. If there's any query, maybe from the Auditors General or any other person, then that is the time we will demand action. So at this point, there's no, we are not imputing any improper motive to anybody in that office.
Correct.
Is there any African country that we've seen audits done after regimes have changed in football?
I haven't seen. Personally, I haven't. Maybe Sadiq, Sadiq has traveled quite a lot. Maybe he has seen. But I've never seen.
We've had, look at Ghana. Look at the case of Kwesi Nyantakye. And I was in Ghana when I covered the crisis of the Football Federation. He was hounded out of office because of corruption. Money was paid to the GFA, the Ghana Football Association. Actually, I was in Ghana during this time. And the man was hounded out of office because of integrity issues. It also followed him to CAF, and he was among the people that paid the price, for that close corrupt association alongside Ahmad. So football has had instances where, and I'm just giving Ghana as one example, other countries, by the way, could as well jail you for stealing public money. I think it's all in Kenya where we appoint you to another government agency after fleecing money. So maybe we expect to see Nick Mwendwa being appointed as a chairperson of the Sports Stadium Management Board.
So, wow. So you guys, but you know that every 4 years we've got this FIFA Forward program by Infantino.
Yes.
We've just come from FIFA 2.0 and now we're going to FIFA 3.0, which is from 2023 to 2026 between the World Cups. And like I told you, FKF applied to have the technical center built in Machakos, and I think there was an issue of the title deed. I think the county government of Machakos was to give the title deed. And this project, I think, was approved by FIFA. So Hussein has to continue with it.
Yeah, he has to continue with it. When last year I was in Tanzania when I was doing this the Africa Super League, and the most impressive thing is they have actually 2 technical centers. It's so unfortunate that in Kenya we don't have any. In fact, even Infantino came to open one of them when I was there.
Oh yeah, I remember during the Super League, Football League.
Yes, the African Super League. So it's unfortunate that we have not built anything except the goal project.
That was the first project under Blatter.
Under
the
Blatter.
goal project.
It was the goal project was under Blatter. It was it was part of the FIFA 2010 legacy projects.
Yes.
So it is very unfortunate that we don't have any such thing. And such things are good because, now with the technical center, the federation will actually spend less, maybe on doing trainings for referees, accommodation for national teams,
transportation.
And the money is there. So I think
it's a damning indictment on your friends. They were in office, they didn't do anything.
Nick's project for the 4 years was the OB the first time.
Which again, there's nothing to write home about. How much money is being put in that project? From your friends? Because this was project that, the technical center.
Technical center.
Yes.
I think it's about 200 million, if I'm not wrong. About 200 million to 240 million.
But the entire funding should be 1 billion for the FIFA Forward.
For 4 years.
4 years.
So you're saying, as a outgoing office, because they were very close to you and you can speak for them, how much money did they use for that?
For what?
For that technical...
In Machakos.
No, it's not yet started.
It's not yet started?
Not yet started.
Do we have the money? Do you have the money?
Yeah, FIFA has already approved the project.
Yes.
And
Once
has it released the money?
See, the money is released directly to the contractor, never to the federation.
When I spoke to Barry a couple of months ago, he told me they are still waiting on the Machakos County government to issue the title deed, and then the construction.
So that means the former office has not touched the money. Let's be very clear. They haven't touched the money.
They haven't.
So we don't have to go after them for this one.
No. And the money is sent to the contractor by
No. Let us be very clear.
So the
that we
FIFA
don't
has to
accuse anybody.
send their guys to come and inspect it.
Yes.
So let us be very clear, so that as they leave,
No, it hasn't come.
it
For
hasn't
now,
come.
no.
For now, it hasn't
Probably
come.
next week we'll have the information.
Yeah.
I'm hoping
And the
that
money goes
we,
to the contractor
Yeah.
directly.
I am hoping
Yes.
that honestly we will get it right
Yeah.
on this one.
Yeah.
I was in the Gambia a few years ago.
Yes.
And what I saw at the FIFA Gold Project in Banjul, the Gambia, it still blows my mind. Gambia is such a small nation that just qualified for AFCON the other day for the first time.
Yes.
They used that money to build hotels that where the national team stay. There's a referee training grounds there. All their under 17, the under 20, the under 23, they don't have to hire any hotel. They have to go to that technical center. It's a center of excellence. It houses the referees, technical area. They do
This press conference area.
Yes, that was a time the VR craze was now
Yes.
coming into play.
Yes.
There was training, by CAF and UEFA at some point, just having people there. And that office also, when it's not hosting players and officials, it's now being put out for commercial, purposes.
It brings
so the
money.
federation brings money. And the Gambia, of all the countries, and I'm speaking with due respect because I know, those friends of mine. We saw the same thing when I went to Senegal. The project in a place called Thies, it's brilliant, okay? And you wonder, these are still the same FIFA members getting the money, but where is our money going? Kenya has to learn from other people, and very fast. And it's the same philosophy, Eric, that we have to approach when we have to host AFCON or CHAN. We have to learn from other people because we have no capacity. We haven't done this before, so we'll have to depend on others to hold our hand on this one.
So as to conclude on this topic of FKF president, the new one, Gilbert, what do you expect from Hussein in the next 4 years?
Hussein has a lot of work to do, but the biggest thing I think, and maybe that's his strong point, to bring sponsors on board. I think he will do because of, he relates well with the corporates.
He has good reputation, say it. I know
he
it.
relates with the corporates.
Say it.
Reputation, I don't know,
Say
but he
it.
relates with the corporates.
Say it.
So I think for me, I think that would be the biggest thing for him.
He will say it.
To bring in corporate sponsors, and our football needs corporate sponsors. The other thing also, he's also big on grassroots. We saw it with extreme sports.
Yes.
So we also expect to see that there'll be a lot of growth in grassroots football. But one thing I would like him to do is to stop these governors doing cups. I wish he can talk to them to invest.
The Christmas cups and campaign cups.
No. Those ones should be stopped.
No, it's all over.
So that they are invested in stadiums.
What do you mean stop them? How do you stop them?
Talk to the
it's like
governors.
Football is devolved. Sports is devolved.
Speak to the governor. Instead of governor of Nairobi spending 20 million shillings on doing a Sakaja Cup, why can't he put that money in a county league?
But the teams that don't play there.
Are you, for example, saying that you're telling Athletics Kenya to tell Farouk Kibet not to host Chepsaita cross country?
No. It's different.
It is the same thing.
No, it's not the same.
It is the same thing because
I'm
this
saying
is
is that-
grassroots sports.
Let me finish.
The governors are saying
Yes.
sport is devolved. Sport is not owned by the federation.
Yes.
It's owned by the people.
I agree.
You cannot stop, for example,
Yes.
a sub-county from having a football tournament
agree.
during and the federation cannot do everything.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
I
that's the
agree.
thing.
cannot do
But-
everything.
But
So you allow other stakeholders to come
But-
and do football.
But Sadiq,
Yes, Gilbert.
we need to do something that has an impact, a real impact on the lives of the
people.
players. Yeah.
I think he's targeting Hussein again with
But
extreme
so
severity.
let him finish.
You do. Let's say put that 20 million in a county league. Say at the end of the year, the winner will have 1 million shilling. Then these players from the county league, they're able to go to the NSL and like that. You have an impact.
That's a good point, Gilbert, you're making.
Yes,
But
yes.
we've got too many teams in those places. Like let's say now here in Kibera,
Yes.
not all teams do play county leagues.
No.
So these teams
Where
need
do
to
they
play
go?
some tournaments.
Absolutely.
Like we're going for Christmas now,
Yes.
you will see lots of tournaments.
encourage them to play in a league. You know why? When you play
So
in a
for
league,
The league has how many teams?
you know, we can create many leagues.
That is exactly what they are doing.
Then, so that this football makes sense, you play here, you go somewhere. You don't just play, get a prize money and go. No.
But even some of these county leagues, let's say when you play them, we're paying to be promoted.
Yes.
But when you look at on the other side, you say Governor's Cup, if you win there, we'll be given like 1 million this Christmas. So players want to go then and win some money.
But play the Governor's Cup, you play it from February to December. It's over a longer period of time. Even if the governor wants...
It's a campaign tool in Kenya.
Look,
okay, yeah.
There's a social impact that sports does, not just the game.
Yes.
Sport is powerful in uniting people.
Yes.
And when you have, for example, a county football tournament sponsored by individuals or corporates, for example, like the Safaricom Chapadimba, it's not in the football league, but this is a corporate football tournament.
Or even schools tournament.
Yes, that goes around the country. So the cake is very big for everyone. I think we should allow, this thing. So
Sorry, you didn't allow me to finish.
Gilbert, I was going to make this point and say, yes.
Let me finish.
Let him finish.
So
what I'm saying is I wish he can talk to the governors, and if they listen to him, do that. But thirdly, obviously, match fixing is a big issue. He also needs to tackle that. I don't know what he will do, but obviously make sure that once the money is in the game, make sure the referees are paid on time, paid well. The players are also paid well. Then probably also match fixing of, obviously we know in this country it's not a crime. Talk to he's close to those MPs, talk to them. Let's have a law criminalizing match fixing, and then probably be able to fix that. But match fixing is a big issue that I think
the world,
needs to,
not just in Kenya.
But Kenya, it's we are not doing anything.
We don't have a law in Kenya.
We're not doing anything about it. So I think that's also an issue that he needs to tackle very quickly. So I think those 3 areas he needs to...
Sadiq, as you conclude on this topic, what do you expect from Hussein?
Clean slate, new beginning, new start. Fresh cut. I just had one today. fresh beginning. Sense of optimism, renewed faith in football. We want to see players, showing what it means. The pride, the tears, the joys. We need to see that philosophy flowing in. We need to see football fans back in the stadium. We need to see more security in our stadium. A couple of matches this season have been really violent. People haven't even gone to the stadium. It's even dangerous.
Some are beating their coach.
Absolutely, even for dangerous for journalists, because equipment get destroyed, and media houses are suffering losses because of that. Look, we want to go to AFCON. We cannot have this hooliganism preceding our way to AFCON. And the league is way behind schedule this time. The league really, they need to salvage the game. He needs to salvage the sport of football and the game. And Hussein should not be afraid to seek partnerships across the borders. I would like him to seek partnership with FA federations, for example, from around the countries where we have bilateral and multilateral associations and relations with Kenya, for instance. He should go to CAF and seek associations with CAF member countries that share a lot with Kenya. I mean, he could go to Qatar, for example, and the People's Republic of China or Saudi Arabia and see, the kind of partnership that Kenya can benefit from. But also, he needs to do a radical surgery on Harambee Stars and all the teams so that we begin afresh. And I've said this before, Eric, on this show. Our campaign for the 2026 World Cup will be dead on arrival in March. That is a good opportunity for us to start again. Hussein, your work is cut out. Begin at the teams, come at the technical area, bring the game together, and I think the goodwill will flow his way.
That's a very good segue to speak about the Harambee Stars now, because Engin Firat has now been confirmed as the former Harambee Stars coach. This week, Hussein Mohammed confirmed that Engin Firat has terminated his contract, which means now we are going into looking for a new coach, because we need to prepare for CHAN if it's happening, and also prepare for the World Cup qualifiers and the AFCON, which we are supposed to host in exactly 3 years. Gilbert, do you expect Firat to terminate his contract?
Of course. He had actually said that his future was pegged on whether the outgoing office would come back to office. So that was expected.
Wow. So not result?
No, it was not. No. He had said that. I mean, you can Google. He had said that twice or 3 times. He had said, Obviously, and like if any new person comes in, I think he has also made it easy for Hussein to start afresh with the national team. You know, he's made it very easy. Because I remember when he came into office, who was there? Bobby Williamson. You know, and then he had to be fired. Then he took FKF to court and he was paid 55 million. So I think Firat has made it easy for Hussein to pick a new coach without the baggage of going to court and everything. So it's easy for him. So it was also a surprise. Yeah.
Sadiq?
Good riddance to a bad joke. This is a trash taking itself out. We are so glad he emptied the trash himself.
You won a trophy.
Well, in Malawi.
Malawi Foundations Cup.
Tournament that nobody even remembers. Just as well won it in Chapadimba here. So look. Firat was a practical joke from the beginning. I do not know for how long he was able to put up, and we were able to put up with him. He's a man that disrespected football fans. He disrespected this country. His sentiments were absolutely intolerable. At one point, I thought he was speaking to his own self, but then I realized he was speaking to us all through the media. And I personally questioned how he was employed in the first place. He was initially given a 2-month contract, and I think that was way against the labor laws. But that as it may, the man has now done himself and everybody a favor by quitting. They say that...
By terminating the contract.
Yeah, it's like trash taking itself out, which serves as a problem of having to dirtify our hands. I'm more worried about the $600,000 claim that he is demanding from the Football Federation. I do not speak for the FA, but I know this is public money. And this goes back to the point I was making earlier, that how could Nick Mwendwa and the prior office have allowed this to continue for a long time? The Federation, as well as Firat, had a clause that each side could terminate, and the Federation could terminate him on account of non-performance or non-delivery of key indication performance. We lost AFCON 2025 qualifiers. That should have made him to leave honorably. But he stood around, and I think the minister spoke on a local television station the other day, and he sealed his fate. So that was the beginning for me, and he knew it. I think this is a man who knew he was going to be fired. So he said, let me cut myself loose and, get whatever pride is left with me, and so that I can become employable elsewhere. Because if you resign, it's different from being fired. Yeah. You salvage face and have some bit of, pride left in you.
You say you're never sacked.
$600,000 is a lot of money. And this contract was expired, I think, in the next 2 or 3 months. So he cut it short himself. And I'm happy to see him gone. I'm absolutely going to celebrate this one in the coming days. And I do not want anybody to make the same mistake of employing a person like this who doesn't wear that pride that we as a country, espouse. And the coach himself knows that this is going to be very long. I know he's sending in some protracted legal claims, which...
It's never long these days, Sadiq, with FIFA clearance house.
The thing is, we've been here before. We've been here before with another coach.
Yeah. So I think the last 3 years, FIFA has made it easy for players and managers who have been sacked to claim their claims.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we also do not have a situation where this takes us longer than expected. That again, Kenya gets sanctioned by FIFA, or we cannot hire another person before we are clear with him. So, in the same vein, Hussein. You can get a local coach to take us through the next few weeks, the next few months, or again, don't be afraid to get us Jose Mourinho and coach Harambee Stars, because we want to go to the World Cup in 2030. It's going to be held in Africa.
In Morocco.
Yeah.
Gilbert, you are close to Nick, like you told us. So why was Firat not paid for? I spoke to him yesterday. He told me it's 12 months now. They've not paid him. Yes. Obviously, expect them to pay him.
Okay.
Why was he not paid for that long? And number two, do you expect the government to pay his salary?
Since Minye's time. Yes.
Minye took us to 2019 Egypt.
Since Minye's time, the government took up the responsibility to pay Harambee Stars coaches. That is on record. Yeah. So if he was not paid, then it was the government that did pay him.
Are you saying it was a Babos also? Because we need to mention names here. Don't be afraid.
No, it was the government. So whoever is there was
the PS and the ministry.
They were the ones. And before FKF signed the contract with Firat, The contract was taken to
The government.
the government. And they approved.
Yes.
Then he was given that contract. So if he wasn't paid, then it was the government that didn't pay him. Yeah? And it was a normal occurrence. There was a time he had gone for 9 months without paying. He was paid.
How does he even survive for 9 months in a foreign country?
That's another story.
Maybe he was staying in this man's servant's quarter.
But so it was the government
In
actually.
Polokwane.
It was the government's responsibility to pay him. Yeah, so they didn't do that. Yeah. So what do you expect? What do you expect now? Obviously, Firat will ask for his money, and if he is not paid,
He'll go to
the next
FIFA.
step he'll go to FIFA.
I don't think Hussein would want that. Like,
And if he
especially
goes
after
to
coming the
FIFA,
office.
Well, the
He'll
minister...
get paid.
he'll get paid.
Yes.
He'll get paid. And
The
FIFA
minister-
nowadays, like you said, is very easy.
Yeah.
FIFA has Kenya's money for development. They'll simply just deduct. And
The minister
pay
has
Firat.
said the government will pay him at least for 6 months. That's what I heard.
Oh, at least
And
for 6 months, eh?
He said at least for 6 months
Yes.
pending. Because I think also what they're waiting for
Yes.
are the particulars of payment.
Okay.
They want evidence that he has not been paid. Because making a claim is one thing, and providing solid, irrefutable evidence
Yes.
of non-payment
Yes.
for a long time. And I think there will be some sort of justification
Yes.
why that was
Yeah.
not done. So we are looking at possibly Nick Mwendwa, Barry, and the office, as well as the prior office that was led by Ababu Namwamba at the ministry. If indeed then that would happen, then I think it's a conversation that spirals. It's a bigger ball here.
Yeah.
And that's why we said Hussein is inheriting a mess,
Yeah.
that is now overflowing from the office. But then again, I spoke to one player,
Yes.
and he told me, I'm happy this man has gone. I'm happy this man, I'm not going to mention the player's name. He said, I'm happy this man has gone. Because he faltered his philosophy with the team, and he felt that this man was just here for money.
Wow. So Gilbert, now, Hussein yesterday said that he's in the process of getting a new manager, a new coach for the Harambee Stars.
Yes.
What kind of a coach now should we go for now? Should we go for someone to hold for the next couple of months, or should we look at a long-term project, like let's say 3 years for the AFCON?
Yeah. Personally, I think he should look for a long-term coach because we don't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2027 qualifiers, I think they're coming in 2025.
After the the Morocco AFCON, we start the qualifiers.
So we don't have time. So he needs to look for a long-term coach that can, and the kind of a coach that he needs to look for, I feel he needs to look for somebody who is inspirational to the team and to the players, and somebody who also can work, because we have a lot of problems in Kenya and in Africa generally. Sometimes I feel like Firat was complaining a lot, and probably that was also...
I mean, come on,
getting
even
to
the training
players.
pitches were not that good for us.
Yeah, but I feel, when you take up a job, you should take it up with whatever it comes with. That's my feeling. Get somebody who can work with
What we have.
and get to inspire the players. Look at Paul Put. Paul Put came here in 2016, just 2016 or 2017. He didn't have much with local players. He won Sekafa. Then after that, he left.
Yeah.
He went to Uganda. Again, he won qualification back
It's
to
taken
Africa.
them to AFCON, yeah.
Yeah, it's taken to AFCON very fast. So I feel you need a coach like that, a coach who is who can inspire the players, who can give the players the confidence and the belief that they can do it. So I think that's the kind of a coach you should look for.
In the last AFCON, there was absolute good conversation about local coaches and the power they wield in delivering. Look at Cote d'Ivoire, they had a local coach.
Yes.
You
It's
know,
called
and
Emas
Senegal.
Faye. Emas Faye.
Yeah, Emas Faye. Senegal with the Rastaman
Aliou Cisse.
Rigobert Song with Cameroon. So this conversation around Africa has been that we place our faith in the hands of others, hoping that they will come here and become messiahs of some sort. And then when they see that things are not the way they are used to, they start complaining. Like Firat, I'm afraid, he spent a lot of his press conferences were difficult to sit in. Very difficult. It's just complaints and words that I'm not going to use on TV, but just complains and complains all the time. At what point do you inspire? Do you go beyond the complaints and see the good? It shouldn't just be the doom and gloom all the time. You can't say your players are bad. I'm working with this thing. Your pitches are rubbish. Your culture. Did he complain about food as well?
No.
Maybe complain about the women of Kenya as well. Who knows? So the thing is, we cannot have something like that every time. When you sign up for the job of Harambee Stars, you know it comes as a package. It's a wholesale, it's an ensemble. You cannot cherry pick and say, I want this, I want this, I want this. If you don't want the job, don't pick it.
He was from Europe.
Yes, if you don't want the job, don't pick it. Yeah. By the way, I think we need people to come around, to take them around, show them what we have, and then get to see it. If you don't like it,
sign the contract.
Then sign the contract. Don't sign the contract on email. Yeah. Don't sign the contract on email before you see what's happening. Yeah. So I think the next coach should come around here. We take him around to Kasarani, Nyayo Stadium, Talanta. We take him to Eldoret Polytechnic Grounds, the venue for 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. Police Circle. We take him to grassroots. Yes. He has to go. Yeah. Okay. I mean, ask yourself, why did Jacob Gosmole take Kenya to AFCON with the players that he had and with the resources that he had? Yes. They were not as much as they are now. Okay, but he delivered. So, from that point of view, I think we need to ask ourselves whether we need a local coach, and I'm talking about an African coach, for instance, or we need someone from beyond Africa. And I think already we have precedents, and history is replete with people that can provide and deliver under the circumstances that we have in Kenya.
Very nice. Sadiq and Gilbert. Yes. Speaking of coaches now in football, let's go to Chan now. Yes. Like we told you a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago.
You really want to go there?
Kenya.
You really want to go there? Yes. Eric, are you okay? You really want to go there, Eric?
We have to
go there.
Eric, you want to go there?
We have to. Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania are supposed to host Chan from the 1st of Feb to the end of that month, which is probably, let's say, 1 month and a couple of days too from now. The last time we were here, there was no local organizing committee that has been now formed or constituted now in the last couple of days. But we're still concerned about the state of our stadia, the training grounds. I think the hotels were good, airports were good, but the stadia, I went to Kasarani a couple of days ago when we had the elections. And obviously when you go inside there, you don't really get any hope. You feel like they won't finish up on time, but we're not engineers. The training ground, I think they started constructing the dressing rooms for the annex stadium, like I think last week. And there were reports this week, especially from People Daily, who reported that Kenya has lost Chan to Rwanda. That was reported by the People Daily newspaper, that Kenya has lost Chan to Rwanda. But people are still hopeful that the government is still hopeful. Kipchumba Murkomen, the Minister of Sport, has said that we are going to host Chan come Feb next year.
Give it to the Patriot, Mr.
Gilbert.
Yeah, we are not hosting Chan. That one, I was here last week and we said that, but we are not hosting Chan because we don't have the stadia.
They are constructing day and night, he said that.
You see, even the grass, you need at least 3-4 months for you to get grass that you can play football in, that the standards that CAF want. So I think we should not stop constructing, we should continue.
Sure.
But I don't think we are going to host Chan for the simple reason that we don't have stadia ready up to now. Uganda, Tanzania are already ready.
They say it should be ready in 2 weeks.
It's not going to happen, Eric.
So in 18 days.
It's impossible. I still believe we will not host. Let's prepare maybe for another opportunity, but not this time around. That's my opinion.
Sadiq?
The Minister of Sports, Kipchumba Murkomen, said those who feel Kenya is not ready to host Chan are not patriots. You are naysayers. You are negative people that don't like this country. You're not patriots. And as such, you should stay away and let those who believe that Kenya will host Chan to have their day. Yes. This is the same country that we journalists go to on the ground every day and see Kasarani is not ready. We have seen not just the structure, the playing surface again is not ready. Yeah. We have seen the resources that must support Kasarani to function as a unit approved by CAF and FIFA, not ready. Eric has just said that. The annex and the changing rooms and everything else, not ready. Number 2, Nyayo is no longer a going concern. I think people who have been to Nyayo Stadium will tell you that unless they stop works at Kasarani now and focus on Nyayo as the only available bet that Kenya should take to CAF and say, look, we only have one stadium and that is Nyayo. Can we host it there? And you need to ask yourself whether that playing surface at Nyayo can accommodate all those matches. We'll play one match and then the pitch becomes like a shamba, a potato pitch, and players would not want to play in it. Number 3, The inspectors were here last month. They went to Uganda, met the wife of the president, Janet Museveni, who's a sports minister. They were taken around. They went to Tanzania, and Kenya was the last country they inspected. The preliminary technical report has now been presented to CAF for the analysis. But we now know at this point what CAF will say about Kenya. Not ready. That is the verdict. Overwhelming verdict. We don't want to be insensitive to people with eye problems, but they are saying even a blind man can see that Kenya is not ready. No matter how much you want to sing the song of patriotism, can we sing the national anthem of Kenya?
No.
Can we sing the loyalty pledge? Can we wear national colors? Wandera, let us journalists go and wear national colors and now be more patriotic. Eric, I said this to you the last time I was here, and I'm going to tell you now. CAF is embarrassed by Kenya. Kenya has put CAF in a very tough situation. The president of CAF and the executive committee of CAF must be asking themselves questions as to whether the decision to give CHAN to Kenya was a good one. Did we bribe people at CAF to get CHAN? How does Mr. Motsepe live with the fact that Kenya is not ready to host CHAN at this time? And if there was a contender to the elections of CAF in February, this would have been an election issue. And Mr. Motsepe should feel okay that there's no one challenging his re-election, because this would have been an election issue. CAF has been put in a tight spot by Kenya, and it's not the first time that they are doing this. This is the third time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you have, first time, the mistake is on me. Second time, shame on you. What is going to happen the third time? We are talking about a country that we had very hopeful, to host this CHAN. But let me cut this country some slack. Eric, let me be a patriot. O God of all creations, bless this land and nation, justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in peace, love, and unity. May,
Sadiq.
This country should not be thrown out by CAF. CAF, please look at Kenya. It's my passion plea. We are hosting 2 events for CAF. CAF, look at Kenya with a soft heart. I know you want this tournament to be here. But how will you ensure it is here when the stadiums are not ready? This is the same country, if CAF throws out, will depend on it to host AFCON 2027. So CAF is caught between a rock and a hard place. And for me, one other thing that people are not saying that I found, I read out the other day.
Yes.
The Confederation of African Football is at this point in some sort of a crisis with sponsorship. The 8-year sponsorship by Total Energy that began in 2016 is ending in 2024. So as it were, this CHAN, I'm not so sure whether it's part of the deal. So unless CAF has a new sponsor for CHAN, for Africa Cup of Nations, for
They
CAF
call it
Champions
Total
League,
Energies now. CHAN.
Yeah, Total Energies. So that 8-year sponsorship is ending this year. So if Kenya does not rise up to the occasion and assure CAF that they're going to get the money to do this, then they're going to expose everybody to ridicule.
Sadiq, before I come to Andera, Daily Nation reported that Kenya has been given until the end of the month, this December, to be ready with all the things, stadium, training venues, hospitals, airports. I think the hotels were good, airports were good. But there was a mention that Motsepe should be visiting Kenya and also do a CAF Exco meeting in Tanzania. What do you know about that? Is he still coming to Kenya?
I don't think Mr. Motsepe would come to Kenya. What is he coming to do?
To get the updates. They said he's coming to get the update for the CHAN preparation.
He doesn't have to. He will read the report by the technical inspection committee that was here. Unless he wants to come and visit Masai Mara, which is welcome. But he already has in his, where he sits, he has a lot of instruments at his disposal to figure out without coming to this country. That the technical report that is now being presented to him should give him a very clear picture. Yeah. He was here the first time. He was supposed to go to Uganda, but he didn't go. I know he's been to Tanzania during the Africa Super League, alongside the president of FIFA, but I don't think he's been to Uganda. So, Mr. Motsepe, you can fly to Entebbe, go to Kampala, and then after that go to Dar es Salaam. You have been to Kenya already. You have seen it. Eric, there is nothing that would bring the president of CAF to this country. I don't see it. Unless then, on a very high diplomatic courtesies, he would come here in that front, that he promised the president he would come back, maybe to honor that pledge. From a diplomatic point of view, he can come. But from an inspection perspective of football and stadium, it's gone. He doesn't have to come here because there's nothing for him to say.
Well, Gilbert, what you know about Motsepe, like we say in every coast, he tends to give the countries until the last minute to be ready for tournaments?
I think, like Sadiq said, I think the technical report was very clear and very damning, the last one. So I don't think there's anything here. So for Kenya's case, I feel like giving them time is just maybe to make sure that we build the stadium. We don't stop, so that it will help us. So, but I don't think it's because of the CHAN. It's because they want us to finish the stadium and have them. We use them and then also, if we miss this CHAN, I think we'll also lose AFCON.
We're building a new stadium in Gong Road.
That is my fear.
Cameroon built a new stadium. They still lost AFCON rights to Egypt.
Yeah.
I mean, if we do Chalanda City and Kasarani, we're good.
Eric, that's my fear. If we lose AFCON, if we lose CHAN, we'll definitely lose AFCON.
Guys,
because you guys think our president can allow that?
Because CHAN we were supposed to show that we are ready to host.
It was a curtain raiser.
Yes, curtain raiser for AFCON. So if we don't have CHAN, then we are going to lose AFCON.
Gentlemen,
automatically.
Gentlemen,
yes.
Do you know how many times West Africa has hosted Africa Cup of Nations? Do you know how many times North Africa has hosted Africa Cup of Nations? Central Africa, Cameroon, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, that region. Southern Africa. South Africa has hosted it. Yes. We went to Angola the other day. Yes. Cabinda, where, Togo team was attacked. Yes. So the only region that has not hosted AFCON since its inception is East Africa. And we have been given a generational opportunity to host AFCON, to Africa.
A shared opportunity.
But maybe, let us look at it this way.
Yes.
Maybe there's a reason we have never hosted AFCON since its inception. And it was for a good reason. Because if this is the preparation we are having now, the fathers of African football must have been wiser enough not to give us this one. Because even after giving us shared 3 countries, for the first time, the burden, so to speak, is shared by 3 countries, we are not ready. Eric, the last time we sat here, we didn't have the local organizing committee. Yes. Now we do have it. Okay? Now, Uganda had it already. Tanzania had it already. Now what we call the Pamoja LOC is now going to be formed. They were waiting for Kenya.
Yes.
So now they're going to form a joint LOC. But even with us now, Eric, today is December 12th.
Yes.
Jamhuri Day.
Jamhuri Day. For avoidance of doubt, this country has until 31st of December.
That's in 19 days. 19
days. If you believe in miracles, this is the time to show it. If you believe in miracles, this is the time to show it. But let us be very clear. The second inspection team by CAF came to Kenya. What did they look at? They looked at marketing. There isn't anything on the ground as they speak in this country at the moment. The subcommittee at the LOC has not been formed yet. Communication, you haven't done that. Broadcast, that is not even there. Competition, safety, security, medical, and protocols. Those were tenets upon which Kenya was being gauged and, and being prepared by CAF. None of that is now available. So, Eric, you're telling me in 18 days? Please, I have faith. I'm a believer, but I don't believe it.
Well, we still continue to believe this is through pass. That is Sadiq Shaban, senior sports journalist, and also Gilbert Wandera, another senior sports journalist. My name is Engin. That was our time on Through Pass this week. I hope by the time we come back here again, so Shapata approval for the CHAN. We hope, as Kenyans obviously, and as journalists who have traveled for this tournament, we would really, really wish not to travel for this tournament and stay at home.
Gilbert, yes. Eric is going to be in the LOC. Did he tell you that?
No.
Giving you an insider tip.
Now, we would wish to have this tournament here at home. We go to the tournaments from home at least, not coming from the hotel. So we hope that you're going to host, but things have to be done the right way.
Correct.
See you soon. This is Through Pass.
Thank you.